Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to round 8 of the East Coast Series, coming to you live from the one and only Road America. Welcome, Nath. How you going, mate?
I'm good, Johnny. How are you?
Loving being back at Road America, mate. One of my favourite tracks in the States. Of course,
Yeah,
located near
it's a fun
Elkhart
track,
Lake.
isn't it?
It is. And without giving too much away at the moment to our punters at home, we're in for some upsets tonight, I've heard. So wait and see as we go through things. First of all, let's have a talk about the circuit, which is located at Elkhart Lake in Wisconsin, in the eastern coast of the States.
Copy.
So the track, of course, is 6.5 kilometres long. It's one of the longest circuits we race on around in the East Coast Series. Known for its big, long main straight going down into a beautiful sweeping turn one, which turns to the right. And then we're sort of going through there in thirds, slicing out. And then between turn 1 and 2, there's a slight kink. It always seems to create trouble when we come into the start of the race. And then we come down into the hard braking turn 3, where we then turn and then run all the way down the second longest straight of the track, down into the hard braking first gear turn to the left, and then we work our way up into the big carousel, and then we come in through the kink and then down through the forest section, down into Canada Corner, and then we climb up out of Canada Corner, back up to the end of the main straight, where we climb up the hill back to the start line. Fastest track time we've been able to find for the V8s is Ethan Grigalt with a 2:03.929. She's a tough track, Nath.
Yeah, it's whilst there's lots of straights to take in the scenery around, all the in-between bits and the corner bits really aren't anywhere as straightforward, shall we say. There's lots of undulation, lots of braking zones that are downhills. There's lots of sweeping corners. It's all in all, it's a fun track, and I'm looking forward to what tonight can bring and the amount of passing opportunities that this track brings. It should bring some good racing.
I think it will. I think what we might do is we might have a quick look at the championship. So as we jump onto the championship and have a look, and all I can say is it is very, very tight at the top. Blake Warboys with 2 wins. Blake Warboys on the count back with 2 wins is on top with 1,200 points, sharing it with the People's Champion, Mr. Jamie Mcknight, followed by young Harrison Dengate on 11.33. And then Scotty McCune, who has been consistently finishing in the top 10 race after race, is doing really well. Not too far behind the boys, only about 80 points behind the leaders. Michael Dumbrell from Hypersonic, another one performing really well. And then we've got Christian Smart, 1 point behind in 6th. Rob Carmichael, first of our fishy boys, sitting on 10.86. Paul Young from PRA, so big shout out to the PRA boys. If you're watching, jump on the chat and let us know. Big shout out to Paul Young, it's not too far behind as well. Andrew Archer, performing really well with 10.53. Michael Stewart, another one we've got from the Hypersonic team. And then that rounds out our top 10 with Nathan Gore, the last driver, on 1,000 points, on 1,020 in 11th, and then Ash Barella sitting on 946. So that top 10 positions in our championship are really up for everyone to play for at the moment.
Yeah, there's the championship could go to anyone at this point in time. Like, looking at where we are and how many rounds we got to go and how tight that is. The good old C word, Mr. Consistency, is going to be what's, I reckon, going to be the ultimate champion at the end of this competition. If you have a few bad races, but a few good ones in there, it won't be anywhere near as rewarding as if you're Mr. Consistent and can just keep chipping away at the points, just keep accumulating them, minimising those bad results. It'll be a very, very interesting second half to this series, it will, Johnny.
I think it will, Nath. I'm really getting excited. And don't forget that this season finishes with the 500 kilometres around Bathurst as a solo driver. So, it's going to be a 3-hour enduro. And
I can feel the lactic acid building up just thinking about that.
It's going to be a long time talking, that's all I know. But yeah, it's shaping up to be an epic finish for the series. And if we can keep this leaderboard so tight up the top, it's going to be fascinating to see what happens.
Yeah, most definitely, especially when it gets to that last really big enduro, because if the points are as tight as they are now when we get to that Bathurst round, it'll be very interesting to see, I suppose, how desperate or how much some of these drivers really want that final position, because it'll be the ultimate game of do the best you can, but don't throw it away if you're only 150 Ks into a 500K race. So there'll be plenty of strategy to go on for sure.
And of course, as you can see, these boys are just doing the practice before we get started. So pre-qualifying happened on Monday night and Sunday night over 4 2-hour sessions. So we might just have a quick look before we show the actual grid. We might have a quick look at the qualifying times. So interestingly enough, on pole tonight, we have Christian Smart. Blake Warboys' dynasty has stopped. Blake couldn't make it 8 from 8.
We've had to come up with a new line and a new intro just for this evening because of that. So I don't know about you, but it bamboozled me once I heard that result, Johnny.
Oh, it was quite interesting. I don't know what Blake's got to say for himself, or whether this is a ploy to take the pressure off himself. But we've got Christian on pole with Troy Maguire sitting in third, Rob Carmichael leading out the Fishy boys, and then in fifth we've got Hugo Allen, which is great to see. Hugo jumping up the board there. And then Michael Whiting in 6th, Dengate in 7th. And if you have a look, the times are very tight in the top 10. There's only a second separates the top 10 cars. Jamie Mcknight, last week's winner, sitting back in 8th. He'll be playing the waiting game. He'll be using the strategies of it all to try and get up the front like he did last week. Matty Dench sitting behind him in 9th. And Michael Dumbrell from Hypersonic rounding out 10 with Paul Young in 11th. And then we have Michael Stewart, Nathan Gore, Scotty McCune, Ash Barella back in 15th, so qualified reasonably well. Craig Roffey in 16th. Tim Nichols from Pecky Performance sitting in 17th. And then we've got Nicholas Loveridge back in 18th. 19th, Darryl Shannon. Shane Roffey back in 20th. Mario Reale in 21st. Andrew Archer in 22nd. Blair Van Reed in 23rd. Frank Hodick 24th. Ryan Van Reed. Troy Sipple, Todd Martin, Nathan Cook, Paul Hayes, and Andrew Hoffman back in 30th. Reece Belithio, Dylan Gray back in 32nd. And the last one we've got in 33rd is Mark Peck from Pecky Performance Racing. And Matt McMillan will be starting from rear of grid, taking the qualifying skip option.
It's a very tight grid, isn't it, John, considering how long this track is, to have, again, the top 10 drivers within a second of each other. It's just crazy, like, the amount of time that these guys, the times that these boys have been able to put down and get that one lap, hero lap, is very, very good quality.
It is very good quality. And, it is going to be really, really interesting to see, because the draft will have a lot to say in today's affairs, and so will fuel, and so will tyres. This is another track that can be very, very tough on tyre deg. A big shout out to Michael Goodfellow who's watching. How are you, Michael? Jump in the chat, guys. Let us know who you're supporting and give us your tip to who you think is going to win tonight, because I think we need a tip as well.
Yeah, that's. I'd just be taking a big old guess. I would be, but we've seen. So we've got Blake, who's been the absolute king of qualifying until Christian's come along tonight to end that streak. But when we look at sort of the average of the results, Jamie's still consistently in that top 10. Hasn't got the same one lap pace as Blake, but they both share the same amount of points in the championship. So just goes to show, whilst it's cool and fun to pump out that really quick lap, that come race time, the strategy that you play in these games, which Jamie is the fuel-saving man, it's that strategy seems to be working just as well as getting up as high up in the grid as high as possible. So
it does.
Anyone could take it tonight. And
just while we're sitting here, we might have a big shout out to Race Control. They're busy in their bunker tonight, getting ready for the start, which is only a minute away. It's good to see that they've got some intelligence in there tonight.
Yeah, they could be plotting anything they can be. So Who knows what race control could ploy for us tonight?
Who knows? It'll be very interesting. Anyway, we have 30 seconds till the end of the practice session before the cars will grid up. So we are shaping up for a very, very, very good race start. And it'll be interesting to see if we can all get through the first corner. As I said, turn one's not usually the problem. It's usually the small kink between 1 and 3. As you can see, the Aries sign coming down the hill there. That slight kink usually catches a lot of drivers out.
Just a general fun fact that sometimes at this track, before the start line can actually catch a lot more people out than what you reckon. There's a race that I had here a while ago now. There was a number of cars on the grid, and I was well down the order because, qualifying commentator 101. And I actually crashed and DNF'd before I got to the start line. It wasn't a good day at the office that day. So this track can produce anything, and it's not the first time that I've seen it happen as well. I just happened to be one of the main characters in that event, but it was anything's possible around here.
Not sure. I've just thrown the grid up there. It looks a bit jumbled, so we might say that SDK is having a little hissy fit on me, so we might just skip that. We'll click that.
Oh, I see what it is. The Central Intelligence race control has messed with you there, Johnny. Told you race control was up to something.
There we go. We have the grid up now as we start to get ready to take the grid. So the boys will be all starting to line up. So as we can see, we've got Christian Smart on pole with Blake Wallboys beside him, Troy Maguire and Rob Carmichael, the Fishy second row. Then we've got Michael Whiting rounding out the Fishy boys on the next row with Harrison Dengate in 6th. We've got Jamie Mcknight sitting in 7th, Matt Dench in 8th, Michael Dumbrell. We might just go hide on that one. Go live, see if I can bring up my race. Bring those up. So we've got 30 seconds, I believe. We're starting with a 2-minute start sequence tonight. So everyone's starting the grid up. As we can see, we're shaping up for a really good start here. As you can see.
They'll have all their brand new tyres on, full tanks of fuel to see how far they can go, and before we know it, they'll be revving their motors and we'll be away.
We'll be away. Keep an eye out for Barney, the flag man, standing on the gantry there. Probably got the best view of the start. Better than what the rest of us will get. As the lights come on. Boys rev their engines.
Green flag.
And they're gone.
We're gone. Great start from Blake. Blake gets the jump on everybody there.
Christian unfortunately caught up in a little bit there, but long way to go. Let's see how they handle turn 1.
Look at those fish swarming behind Blake.
They're after that bait.
Yep. As we come down, it looks like we're actually going to get through the kink. After all my talk saying it was a trouble area, we do have a spinner at the back, but I think he's back on. We've got somebody off. We've got 2 cars off at the rear. We'll come back to that later. As we come down the corner here, as we head in, Blake Wallboys leading the field, coming down. Harrison Dengate on the big move on the inside here. Hard braking area here. Got to brake back at the 300 metre mark, going downhill. Then we rise up the hill here. Very touchy area to brake as you go over the crest. So we've got Wallboys, Carmichael, Maguire, Whiting, Smart, Dench, Dengate. Nathan Gore's dropping out down the back there. Not sure what's happened to Nathan. Looks like we've had another spinner.
61 Shane Roffey caught up in that, I believe, John.
Yep. We might just finish off this first lap and then we might go back and have a quick look at some of the incidents at the start. Wallboys leads out of the carousel as we come into the kink to head down the Canada corner. Whilst this is through the kink, 5th gear, flat out. Full acceleration all the way. A few boys going wide. Whilst this is a straight section of the track, it's curves and turns, so there's no real opportunity coming down here in the Canada corner. Wallboys deeply through. It's also a corner known for accidents as well. Wallboys with Carmichael all over the back. Maguire sitting in behind this combination. But I'll tell you what, Rob Carmichael is looking really fishy here.
Car 191, contact 69 on that one.
As we come to complete lap 1.
And that is 6 kilometres in the bank.
And we already have a drive-through for Dylan Gray with an incident with Tyrone Anderson, so we might see if we can find that. I'll scroll through my list of things that have happened.
Overall, they've all made it through. I was sort of looking through the field as we were going through. I didn't know where to look a few times because there was a number of drivers that were too wide, but there's a couple of little incidents. But I think on the whole, most of the group managed to make it through without copping any damage.
We might just jump in. I think I might have the Dylan Gray incident. We might jump in and have a look at that, Nath.
Yep.
On the Dirty Pig replay. Oh, he's lost control on the grass. And wasn't able to pull it up. So an unsafe rejoin. I think because he had lost control. Matt McMillan coming through the back there. Shane Ewens. And Blair Van Reet at the back as well, which is rather interesting. So Blair was in the pits as well. We'll go back to the live pictures and see what's going on up front. Still very tight with Rob Carmichael chasing down Warboys.
Yeah, and an interesting fun fact on Blair, he is back in the Commodore this week and in that shiny livery. So for all of us that were watching him in the Mustang last week, he clearly didn't like it. He's back in that Commodore. Blake hasn't really pulled away to much of a lead up the front, has he?
No, he hasn't.
Those fishy cars right there behind him in that tow, so they'll be loving that. They'll be playing the fuel saving game behind him, and Blake will be wanting to do everything to try and break out of the tow for him, so it's a little bit more even Steven once it comes to that first pit stop. Ooh, I heard whispers of a tow over the radio, John. Safety car.
Safety car. Safety car.
Already. Lap 2, safety car. Nathan Gore. Oh no. Mr. Consistent.
Nathan Gore, let's jump in. We'll go to Dirty Pig replay and see what happened here. I'd say he's been involved in that earlier incident that we saw with Dylan Gray.
Safety car is
and I would probably say he's blown his engine. I'd say that's what's going on, Nath. I'd say the engine has kaput. Yeah. He has stopped. And not much we can do when you've got no power. And you can see he's sitting on the straight there in a precarious position. So fairly good call from race control.
Car 11,
obviously the intelligence is working again.
Yes, that's they're certainly all over it tonight. They are race control. They've definitely ranked it up another level. They have.
They have.
Here in America, getting all the help they can get.
Absolutely. It would. I'm quite intrigued. We do have some cameras about tonight, so I am quite intrigued, Nath. We might actually jump in and have a look at what they are actually watching.
That's an interesting choice, that is, but seem appropriate. We'll give them that.
Given that probably explains a few of those calls, all being done by intelligence.
Yes, they're taking advantage of it this week, so I'll give the boys credit in there. They're definitely taking advantage of learning from their surroundings.
When Ben said we were going to America, I didn't think we were going to Team America, but that's all right.
This will be a one-lap safety car, so safety car will be coming into this lap.
So, as you just heard from Ben Anthony, race control, the safety car will be in at the end of this lap. Richie Barella with the lights flashing. Good evening to you, Richie. Probably didn't expect to be out this early.
No, it's I reckon that's caught him by surprise, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
With that being said, I'm trying to have a look through the grid to see if we've had any big movers so far, and Frank Hodak has managed to make 6 positions to go from 21st to 15th.
Yep. 11, you're clear to tow.
Who else have we got? We've got Ryan Van Ree has moved up 4 spots from 22nd to 18th. The man just behind him, Troy Sipple, has followed him and gone from 23rd to 19th. Nathan Cook behind has gone from 25th to 20th.
Once the safety car has reached
Andrew Hoffman, 27th to 21st. But the biggest mover so far is Darren Crosby. He's made up 10 positions in less than 12 kilometres of racing, gone from 34th to 23rd.
Right, that's a great start for the M1 Racing Charger.
Yeah, Oh,
and
man.
sitting behind
The
him is
man
Ty
behind
Burns.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ty Burns followed him the whole way through, so I think Darren's punched the hole in the air and Ty's just followed him on the way through.
Yep. I think the boys have done quite well for that start. We might just jump back up the Blake War Boys as we're coming down into Canada Corner. Richie Barella's cleared out. So let's just follow Richie. So if we need to cue the Benny Hill music.
Can't let Team America down.
Overlapping is allowed after the last turn, but overtaking not allowed before the start finish line.
It also does explain why race control's all over it. Having a big team like that in race control tonight, they high expectations there are.
Yep, great drive, Richie. Very impressive, mate.
Safe current pit lane, Blake,
As we go back now, look off the gearbox of War Boys.
Mr. Warboy's leading the pack again.
Last corner, let's listen, see when he goes. Still waiting. Still waiting. Holding him up a long way. He's off.
And they're gone.
Long gone. Weaving now, trying to break the toe.
How will this restart go? How good will everyone be?
Oh, Rob keeping him honest still.
Yep. Certainly there, right behind him, ready to jump at any moment.
Carmichael, beautifully on the apex by Rob. You can see why these boys are at the front of this field. He's got the run, he's got the toe, having a look up the inside. As we come down into turn 4, and we have a new race leader. Carmichael is through. Warboys tries to pick up the slipstream behind him.
In a very big fishy sandwich he is there, Blake, so wonder what Rob can do having this clear air in front. Will he pull away, or will the boys be able to sit behind in that slipstream?
Rather interesting to see. We've still got a long way to go, of course, with 39 laps around Road America. What we might, as we come through the carousel into the King, Warboys in second, Carmichael in first, Troy Maguire behind Warboys, Michael Whiting, Christian Smart, Matthew Dench, Harrison Dengate, Jamie Mcknight, Paul Young from PRA, Michael Dumbrell round out our top 10.
This whole top 10 is very close, aren't they, John?
Absolutely.
No one's broken away from anyone, really.
No further action to your incident. Car 11 still penalised himself by having the motor blow and multiple laps down.
Matt Dench is the biggest mover out of this top 10. He's up 2 spots, apart from Rob Carmichael, our race leader, who's up 3.
Roger that.
And they're all going down this main straight back into turn 1 again.
As you can see, that
entire chain down, the entire chain of the field. There's a really big slipstream effect, like you were saying at the start of the broadcast, going on tonight. Certainly going to keep them all nice and close and honest.
See Matt Dench on the move here, putting a lot of pressure on Christian Smart. Harrison Dengate sitting behind, probably waiting to see if he can pick up some crumbs if there is a passing manoeuvre.
78 and 1 connection with code.
And we've got another one in trouble. Shane Ewans is off.
78, you are well clear, so once the leader has passed you on track, you are clear to tote.
Oh, and another one happening here. Jamie Mcknight has stopped.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Everyone's
Safety car, safety car, safety car.
Safety car again.
Please maintain position.
As we go for a quick replay here, what happened to Jamie? He's coming
Sorry,
around.
Paul, I got you there.
I think Jamie may have had an engine blow.
No,
I'd say.
didn't feel anything.
So early in the race, that's not good.
It's not good at all. So, not 100% certain. We might just jump on board this time. Big puff of smoke there, yep. Jamie's blown an engine.
No. So early, I wonder what happened. I wonder if he had any. The car looks so clean though.
Jamie's
If he
quite
just
well known.
overrepped it, or
Not sure, but that's usually, he does have some issues at a few Matt. He does have an issue at a few circuits where he does blow engines. For those that follow V8 vets, he's quite well known for it. And the only race I've ever beaten Jamie was because he blew his engine at Bathurst. So I can say I've beaten Jamie Mcknight at Bathurst. As the boys are about to come down the straight in turn 1 where they'll pick up the safety car.
The car is on the exit of turn 2. So, careful please.
Oh, sorry, Shane Ewan's still in the grass. Sorry, in the sand trap.
Copy that.
Richie's getting enough laps in, he could nearly score points for the evening if he keeps this up all night.
Well, he's already got a few in the book. He's already done 1.28. So this would be really difficult. This would be really upsetting. Well, not upsetting, but really unstabilising the boys a bit. As Rob Carmichael flashing the lights as he picks up the safety car, let him know he's there. So out of that little foray of a lap and a half or 2 laps that we just got, the only real big mover is Darren Crosby. He's picked up another 3 spots to move into 20th.
I go now.
Ash Barella is up 2 spots in the 12th. And Frank Hodak is in 14th. He's up 7 spots. So there's a few guys have been making some good moves. There's a few boys diving to the pits here as well. Reece Bolethio and Paul Hayes have dove into the pits this time around.
Yeah, you've actually just beaten me to it. I wonder what's going through their minds if everyone's going to try and make it last as long as possible, or some of these boys just taking a little cheeky top up. I wonder how that'll go for the second half of this race.
Oh, you got to go the cheeky top up.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. We'll see who is back there who's done the top up. So we've got Dylan Gray in the Stone Cold racing car. Love that livery. Reminds me of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Probably one you don't get. No, it's probably a bit too young for Steve Austin, but anyway.
Yeah, look, not going to lie, it did go straight over my head, but I'll sit here like the Madagascar penguins and smile and wave, boys. I'll just smile and wave.
So you did pick something up at Phillip Island.
Yeah, well, we spent that much time with the penguins in the USSR tent, so I made a few friends, few connections.
And I'll let you know when he's in the lane.
And Dylan Gray from Renown, he's coming back to the back of the pack. And word from race control is that the safety car is pulling away, so we're going to go straight.
After blowing a motor.
So of course in iRacing, Jamie has to wait to get permission to tow, and he tows back to the pits. Calculated time will tow for that tow is put in, and then with his one fast repair, he'll be back out racing. So it'll be interesting to see how Jamie goes back in 35th now, see how it comes back through the field. So it's a big disappointment for our race leader.
Current pit lane, Rob, race when you're ready.
It'll be interesting to see what happens for the championship after tonight. It's really starting to get mixed up a bit, isn't it, Johnny?
Well, this is probably the big change for the championship, this one. Having our equal championship leader blow an engine. This will be interesting. Warboy's in second, Carmichael first. When's Carmichael going to go? It's holding him up a bit longer. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Wait for it. And we are green flag.
And we're going. There's another really big hold-up that was there.
It was. Maguire all over the back of Warboys. Warboys having to defend on the inside line of that track. Still holding that line just. Not being able to get the full use of the apex. Just allowing Carmichael to really get away. Still too wide racing.
Fishy boys are definitely taking it to Blake tonight.
Absolutely. But Carmichael clearing away. Back to Warboys. He's under pressure from Troy Maguire. And then coming into this fight, we have Michael Whiting and Christian Smart as well.
Yeah, they're certainly lurking around the back there, aren't they? They're ready to
absolutely.
Any moment.
Someone else has gone wide down in the turn 4 there. Blake getting a little bit of a gap at the moment. Probably a little bit quicker through this section of the circuit as we come down into the left-hander before we go into the right-hand carousel. Do have a car off further back. Might have a quick jump back and see who that is. I think Shane Roffey from all looks.
61.
Yeah, mate, saw that right.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a good thing that race control have got plenty of support tonight.
Yep.
Very busy in these opening stages.
As you can see, Rob Carmichael clearing out a little bit.
He's fallen away to a little bit of a gap, isn't he? Wonder if Blake will have any advantage of the toe on the main straight.
That's what he'd be looking for, I think.
Race control, lap 71911.
A couple of other incidents down the back. That was Dylan Gray
Yeah, mate, I would.
there, but as we go into lap 8, Rob Carmichael leading Blake Warboys, Troy Maguire, Michael Whiting, Christian Smart, Matt Dench. That rounds out our top 6. Harrison Dengate in 7th.
Penalty, car trip 2, contact.
So it's really happening. We might just drop down the back a little bit and have a look further in the field.
Just be careful parking, Dylan.
As drive-through penalty for Matt McMillan for an incident with Shane Roffey. So I didn't see that one. A few guys in the pits with Blair, Shane Roffey and Todd Martin at the moment. And we might just jump back to Darren Crosby. The True Vets 100 race campaign. So Darren's already got on the Vets
191
livery.
interaction and racing.
So not this week, but next week the Vets celebrate their 100th race. So Darren's got the True Blue Falcon tribute.
Always a good looking livery, isn't it, Johnny?
It is. It's obviously working for him tonight, up 16 spots.
Yeah. Yeah, may as well take full advantage of it.
And he's got Ryan Van Ree just in front of him that he's hunting down, with Tippy Nichols just in front of them. So our other hard charger at the moment competing with him is Ty Burns. So Ty Burns in the M1 Racing livery.
I might not be able to pick a winner or our top 3 for tonight, but I reckon that we're going to have a number of people vying for this Hard Charger Award tonight. I don't think it'll be an easy picking for some.
Oh, I don't think so either. Everyone wants to come and talk to us after the race.
Yeah. We must be popular with the drivers.
So we'll have a look for some battles going on. Frank Hodak, as you can see, under a lot of pressure from Nicholas Loveridge and Andrew Archer. Timmy Nichols hanging onto the back of that pack with Ryan Van Ree trying to come in on him. As Nicholas Loveridge pulls up alongside into turn 1, tries to hold it together, very squirrely. Manages to hang on there. Great driving from the renowned sim racing driver. Frank, slight tap. Was side by side, but Andrew Archer manages to poke his nose through.
I think that's one of the things that allows this track to have such great passing opportunities and great racing, is that the walls are so far away that as a driver, and these boys are proving it, that you certainly want to throw it in to have a bit of a
Timmy
go.
Nichols.
Like, you're not afraid.
Timmy Nichols on the big dive.
It's an important case right there. Like, you certainly, not having a wall right there to hit, you're more willing to give it a go because you know you got a little bit of runoff just in case you get it wrong.
No, absolutely, and it is that openness that makes you feel like you've got the room to manoeuvre. We've got another stopped car, I think. I'm not sure who it is. Might be Nathan Cook. Nathan Cook's come off there. He's missing the bonnet. I think he's still got it going. He's managed to get started.
Yep.
Good work, Cookie. I reckon race control would probably have a heart attack if we had to have another safety car.
Better throw Central Intelligence into disrepute. Your rebellion.
And we might just jump back up the front. We're all still very tightly bunched. Rob Carmichael, 0.3 seconds up the road from Warboys. Further 0.2 back to Maguire. Michael Whiting, 0.2. Christian Smart. So really, it's basically a second you can throw over these first 4 cars.
Yeah, most definitely. And I reckon they're all sitting in here playing fuel-saving game.
Well,
That's what these boys should be doing.
let's jump on board on the gyro, and we'll do a lap with Christian Smart.
Race control, can you have a look at that moving under brake, please? On lap 9.
Yep, I'll have a look, mate. Uh, 191, no further action. The car on the left-hand side hit the grass. That's what caused him to chink out. Okay.
Stay on board here, but Maguire and Warboys are side by side, as you can see. It looks like Maguire's got past Warboys as we come into the carousel.
Yeah, no, now they're back side by side again. They're not giving an inch, these boys.
We might just jump off the camera for a minute here, watch this battle. This is quite epic.
Yeah, what this has allowed to Rob to do is certainly skip away a little bit. They've all sorted each other out. Oh, spinner, who's that?
I think
Troy Maguire.
Troy Maguire, I don't know, and Blake Warboy's off there. I think that Christian Smart's giving him a tap there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
Check Troy.
surprised if there was a little
See
left
if Troy got going. No, Troy's got it going. It's still live. Oh, Christian Smart on the radio saying no contact there. So, you know, Central Intelligence will really be tested here.
Yeah, it'll, there's definitely going to be a lot of investigation over this one, because there's, had a quick look myself, and yeah, it's going to be not really sure what happened there, to be honest. So it has spiced up our lead pack though, that's for sure.
What we might do, Nath, we might cross to the pits. We've got a special
Race control,
reporter
yeah,
in pit road tonight.
Use of,
So I'd like to introduce you
flashing
to our new pit reporter for tonight. Special guest appearance, Mr. Matt Damon. What's
Damon.
down the main
so what's the
track.
word from down from the fishy pit box, Matt? Anything to say?
Yep, we're on.
Matt Damon, there's plenty going on down here, but I'll see what these high racing pit crews get up to. Anything's possible. These boys are very, very fast. They're practically drivers themselves.
Thanks, Matt.
Anytime, mate. Yeah, he's all over it, that bloke.
Absolutely.
Race Control bring in their own team. We've got a team ourselves, so we are all over it. One for one, I reckon, Johnny.
It's worth trying. If you're watching at home, jump on. Let us know how Matt Damon's doing.
Our green guy, if he does no good, we'll get rid of him next week. But if you want him around, I reckon he could almost make an appearance and become a part of the crew.
Rob Carmichael leads 0.9 seconds ahead of Blake Warboys. Michael Whiting sitting behind. Christian Smart a further 2 seconds back. So Christian's dropped back a little bit after that Troy Maguire incident. Troy is running again, back in 16th. So it'll be very interesting to see how race control. We're really studying that one hard, I reckon.
Yeah, they've,
contact goes 3. There was contact on that one.
there you go, another little plot twist. They've deemed that there was enough contact to make it a drive-through penalty, so...
Christian's off.
Can you please look at that? Getting turned down the back straight in a straight line.
Let's just see, have a look.
Yeah, can you
What happened with Ryan Van Ree there? There's a call. Just jump down the back for a second. Whoa.
Roger.
I'm not sure what happened there. We just saw the end of that, and I don't have a wind back button. So we might just go back one more. Michael Stewart might have been involved in that as well.
We might be critiquing their new team quite a lot tonight, but it's certainly a room I wouldn't want to be in.
No,
There's
Just a
plenty
reminder
of
for
stuff
drivers,
going on left, right and
exit light
centre.
flashing is not tolerated. The warning for everybody. Please maintain a minimal amount.
so not sure what happened to Ryan there. We just saw the aftermath of it, but on the old 180 and pointing in the right direction is always a good start. So as we can see, Michael Whiting's closed up on the back of Warboys now. There's been a lot going on, Nath.
Yeah, it's before we know it, we're up to lap 12, and holy moly, it feels like we've had a whole race happen already. It's just the Road America, it's delivered. We were talking it up at the start, and it has certainly delivered the well, the goods from a viewer's point of view. Maybe not the goods for some of the drivers tonight. I'm guessing, I'm tipping a few of them probably won't be too happy with some of the results. However, it does always bring good action, Road America, when we come here. So.
And still a long way to go.
Yes, yeah, we haven't even made it to the first round of pit stops yet, so we haven't even brought that into consideration.
Might just go back, have a look through the field. We've got Ash Barella, and then we've got another drive-through for Ty Burns. We've got Ash Barella up 5 spots, sitting in 9th. So Ash has made his way to the top 10. And we've got a lovely battle going on behind him with Nicholas Loveridge. So Nicholas is in the race maker, chasing him down with Timmy Nichols, keeping the pressure on him. And in front of Ash, we've got Matt Dench fighting his way back through the field. And Craig Roffey just in front of him. In the middle split racing. So sitting in 6th. I don't think Craig's in the middle split anymore. And just in front of Craig, we've got PRA's Paul Young. Oh! In the background
Bit
there.
of a moment there.
Matt Dench. So Michael Dumbrell from Hypersonic could have just been in the middle of all that one. A big shout out to Josh you watching tonight as well. If you are watching along at home, jump in the chat and say good day. Let us know how Nate's going. And if you're supporting anybody, give us a shout out.
Yeah, my chat's been playing up a little bit on my phone, but yes, hello everyone that's already jumped on and put in a comment there. Claire, yes, believe it or not, Blair did drive a Ford, so he did it for a whole race last week, and he made a debacle of it, to be honest. So it was interesting. It was funny for us, but not a good night for Blair. But yes, good evening to Stewie, Mama Bear, Papa Bear. It's good that you guys are watching again, and Ricky Varga going after Pecky. So we've got a good number of viewers already. So, but please keep like Johnny was saying, keep the comments going, keep it all happening, because we've got plenty going on track. I'm sure there's going to be plenty after tonight that we're all going to be able to talk about for the rest of the week.
And Matt Dench has just made the move on behind. Matt Dench, great little battle here coming out of Canada corner. So Dench has just managed to get past Roffey. Michael Dumbrell from Hypersonic coming into the battle behind.
Yeah, they're racing hard, these boys, aren't they?
They definitely are. A couple of lap cars in the mix now as well. So, a few boys starting to make pit stops as well.
Yes, well, well, funny you say that. I just broke out the calculator to do the good old commentator's race engineering here, and it's lap 13 is the magical number to be able to make it to 2 stops for tonight. So considering we're on lap 14 already, we have had those couple of safety cars. I wonder if some of these guys are going to stick to their strategy of just 13 lap stints by 3, or if they're going to try and hit that halfway mark to try and to see what they can muster out of tonight. Do one less pit stop, make it to lap 19 and a half by the numbers, so they'd have to make it to lap 20 before that pit stop. But if you could save yourself a minute or so in the pit lane travel, it's one less minute that you have to try and make up on the track. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of laps.
He needs Larko when you got NATO.
Yes, well, it's not all me. I did have help from my pit reporter Matt Damon in there, so he did throw a few numbers my way. So good old teamwork going on there. Yeah, thanks, Matt. Good stuff, mate.
And as we can see, Blake Warboy's still in the fishy sandwich. We've got Whiting moving up right behind him now. So it's still an epic battle here for the first 3 cars, separated by less than a second.
Some might say the chip between the fish, Blake is.
Might say that.
And there's my dad joke of the night.
Or Stewie would say, a chip off the old block.
Yep, that is one of Stewie's favourite sayings. But looking at that, Rob is definitely trying to break out of the slipstream here. He's definitely worried. Blake might have a run on him here. Does he? No, not quite going under brakes.
Of course, we're coming into that scenario now where low fuel loads, worn out tyres. These boys are yet to stop.
Yeah, there's not really much driver fatigue at this point in time because it is still very early on and they are getting used to these longer races and the fact that we've had 2 safety cars already. It's most certainly going to provide some interesting racing.
No problem.
And Rob very defensive on Blake yet again, so he's definitely worried.
So all the fishing. Michael Whiting in there.
Thanks, Matty.
Could be a fishy 1-2 here. Will Blake be able to hold him there? Both boys give him plenty of room and he pulls it off. Michael Whiting up into second for a fishy motorsport 1-2. The chip has fallen off the plate. It's although he hasn't fallen very far, he's certainly right there. Depending on how much fuel saving Blake has done though, he might be able to jump both these boys in the first pit stop, so we will see in the very near future, we will, Johnny.
We will. We'll definitely see. Be interesting to see. This is reminding me of a Mercedes-esque move. Slowing up Verstappen to let Bottas go through. Sorry, slowing up Verstappen to let Hamilton come through.
Well, coming up behind him, and his race pace is pretty good. One man that we haven't spoken about too much, young Harrison Dengate, is about half a second a lap quicker than the boys in front of him. So, 0.4 if you want to get really nitty gritty. So he's definitely chipping away at him, slowly but surely. So yeah, we might have an even Steven battle of Fishy Motorsport and WK&P Sim Sports in a minute.
So Matt Dench going into the pits by the looks, I think. No, kept going. So yeah, but these boys are really pushing well. And if you look at the times there, he's nearly a second quicker than the cars in front of him at the moment. So he is closing that gap to the 1, 2 and 3. So young Harrison driving really well. This is good to see. And we might just jump back to Paul Young. Paul Young from PRA caught up in this battle with Dench in front and Roffey behind with Michael Dumbrell. So this is another great battle we've got going on inside the top 10. Roffey thinks about going to dive and changes his mind. And the next battle we've got, if we go further back, is Ash Barella. He's just been passed by Nicholas Loveridge, I think. And Timmy Nichols trying to have a piece of it as well.
I've been watching this battle for about the last half a lap, and these boys are definitely... I couldn't keep up with the amount of times they've all passed each other. They're all doing very good at battling away and they're not giving up too much either.
Sorry to interrupt, mate. We've got an incident, I think.
Oh dear.
Andrew Hoffman's gone off. Try and have a look at the replay. There's Andrew there, parked in Mr. Pit Lane. I'm behind the bridge. So I'm not sure what's happened.
Safety car again.
Another one. This will really open up for those that haven't pitted yet. This will really open up the opportunity for them. Scotty McHugh has had an incident as well. We might just go to the quick replay there, see if there's anything involved in that. So Scotty
Car 30,
McHugh,
go past safety car.
he's just lost it
43
coming down
as
into
well.
turn 4. No, not turn 4, sorry, I'm not sure which turn it is.
69, past.
Eek. I think that's coming out of Canada corner, coming up into the last corner. Another tricky corner to lose it. No, sorry, I've got that wrong. I'll correct myself. That's going into the carousel. And Paul Hayes has had an incident as well, so you might see if we can pick up that.
Well, interestingly, everyone has come into the pits. It's
79, past
Pecky
safety
stayed
car.
out, but everyone else has dove into the pits. So we must have been close to that. Must have been close to the window of the pit lane and pit stops there, Johnny.
Past safety
Let's have a
car.
look. See what happens here. They're all coming in together.
27, catch it.
Oh, poor Matt Damon. He's not going to know where to look.
No, he's not.
Car 11, when you catch it.
And we're trying to see. He's going to be out first. All the cars up on the jacks.
So those iRacing pit crews are having their work cut out for them tonight.
And of course, Christian Smart, who was involved in that drive-through earlier, coming up through the field. That's because he was the number 1 pit box. And Fishy 1-2. War Boy's out in 3rd.
Yes, the Fishy boys hold ahead of Blake.
Guys, please maintain a race speed.
And Harrison's getting jumped by the PRA Paul Young.
Car 124, safety
Yes,
car.
I think
is
Young
around
H
turn
did
2.
accidentally miss his pit box as well.
And someone coming in extremely quick in there. I'm not sure who that was.
Paul Hayes and Dylan Gray at the end of the main straight there, trying to get as many positions as they could.
As we now go back to Richie Barella. Poor old Richie not getting a break tonight.
No, he's going to have sore arms from driving this much. He'll have to get a few signatures from Team America because he hasn't been around them too much.
Hasn't been around at all.
Safety car is increasing to 100.
So we might have a look, Nath, but
Hey, Paul, you want to come back in front of
we
me?
might
'cause
just
of
have a
your
look
spin
and,
when the safety car got called.
see who else is in race control, helping him out.
If someone went off track after safety car,
Of course, we're at Road America tonight and helping Ben, or I think that is Ben dressed up. He's the one and only Captain America. Richie Barella as Iron Man out in the Porsche.
Yes, so they are doing a stellar job and they are the superheroes of tonight, so fair enough to be dressed up like that. So didn't know that they were dressed up
191
into all sorts of things, but after seeing their dancing last week and their happy feet crowd that they attracted, not much is surprising me anymore, Johnny.
No, not much is more going to surprise us with these guys.
So, they're certainly out there, but you know, each to their own.
There is one good thing about it being so...
Two-lap safety car.
There we go, heard it from Ben Anthony himself, 2-lap safety car. There is one good thing about him being so busy though, Nath. At least they don't give us a drive-through.
Yes, I think we have dodged and weaved and ducked under all their intelligence tonight to be able to make it the whole way through to lap 17 without any drive-throughs ourselves, so I'm taking that as a win.
And let's have a quick look in race control and see how Ben coordinating everything.
Need the tow back.
I reckon this next pit stop, and again, this hasn't really answered the question of how far can we last on a tank before needing to pit. So this next pit stop might just simply be a case of splash and dash. So
I definitely think that's what you'd be going to.
So there might be some very quick green flag pit stops, but then the next question will be how much fuel are they taking on, and will a set of tyres be worth it for that little bit of extra time?
It will be. The other one is that I haven't had a quick look, and that is he's trying to work out. We've got this lone car racing around at the back here trying to catch up to the back, but has this safety car allowed Mr. Mcknight to get back on the lead lap? That is my question at the moment. I'm not 100% certain,
Alright,
but
16, you're all good.
I've got a feeling that Jamie is back.
Yeah, he may have done a good enough job and may have played the safety car card in his favour.
And of course, it's a 2-lap safety car this time, so he'll definitely be on the back of the train as he goes through the carousel. the safety car has just crossed the start-finish line. But very interesting. I'm looking forward to this. Jamie
It'll be
driving
good
the
to
Stang
see what he
in
can
tonight.
do.
It'll be very good. What else we got rolling around out the back here? Nathan Gore. He's rolling around at the back in the Hobbs Commodore.
It's good to see him back out on the
78,
track.
because there's no wave around because you blew a motor. During this lap, can you please let the 4 cars behind you in front and join in behind them, please, as you're out of sequence?
To the right, I'll stay left.
Yep, so cars 222, 08, 027 and 11.
So
Please
we'll have
pass
a
the 78.
quick look at who our hard chargers at the moment is. It's Dylan Gray. Dylan is up 20 spots.
Matt McMillan, can you please overtake the 78?
The renowned sim racing driver.
Yeah, the man in front of him, Paul Hayes, isn't too far off though, from 26th up to 8th. But yeah, Dylan has definitely got it at the moment, doesn't he?
When
Definitely
Danny
has.
can catch up Shane Little.
Hazy, of course, with the new livery tonight, with the Chemist Warehouse signage on the side of the car. Let's get to have a look as he goes past. Of course,
Not a bad looking livery.
it's a great, nice looking livery, and apparently he's got a yacht that matches the livery. So, Paul, of course, driving for Scorpion Racing, or Scorpion Esports. So, big shout out to Mick Rush and the boys there, Scotty Perrins. And we'll have another bit of a look through the field. The other guy who was leading our hard charger before, of course, was Darren Crosby, so he's still up 15 spots in 19th. He's stopped as well. The man in front, Michael Stewart from Hypersonic. So Michael has actually stopped twice, so not sure whether the first stop was a case of a drive-through, but
Just a reminder to everyone, the safety car will be in at the end of this lap. As per the last two,
Could it have been that,
Keith,
or-
Way, Rob, you'll have control of the
Or
field.
could it have been a case of those couple of people during those early safety cars
Probably.
to do that
Grab-
quick splash and dash early on?
and maybe being towards the mid to the rear of the pack, maybe he did another one, not sure. So we go back up the front,
Rob, please maintain 100.
fill everybody in.
Car-
Safety cars. Richie Barella's pulling away, so go onto that. Go, Richie, go. Drive like the world's watching. I tell you what, he's much better than the safety car drivers we get for vets. They always crash.
That's
78, so let the 11
it's almost
through
a
when he catches up,
competition,
please.
some might even say. Well, Richie
Last turn,
Barella, the master of the safety car.
Just make sure he gets up the hill here and in the lane.
Pit lane. Rob, race your restart when you're ready.
Well done, Richie. And we'll jump on board with Rob. Carmichael, we're going to go the gearbox view again. It's my favourite view of the night for the restarts. Had enough practice. So he's waiting. He's off early. He's off early.
And that's a big mix-up compared to the last couple.
I'll tell you what, Michael Whiting's having a look here.
I wonder if team orders are going to come into it or if it'll be fair game. I think it's fair game looking at this. And it
Definitely
is.
please.
Have a new race leader, we do. Michael
do.
Whiting.
It's our third race leader for the night. So as we can see, our leading three is we've got the drone up in the air at last. And we've got a little bit of movement, but you can see the lead three cars with Paul Young from PRA. So big shout out to Roy Clark. If you're watching, mate, jump on the chat and let us know. Or these boys are doing quite well.
Thanks, Becky. No worries, brother.
So Paul Young sitting here in fourth, keeping the pressure on War Boys and the two Fishy cars.
And having a look through, there's a few passing opportunities going on for some drivers, but overall everyone's being very well behaved this time on this restart.
So Craig Roffey sitting back in fifth.
Now, our pole setter Christian Smart still trying to weave his way through the field, but he's back down in position 16 at the moment, right in the thick of the action.
We we might jump back to the man that is second on the lead lap as he comes into the carousel. Let's keep a loose eye on that lead pack, but let's watch on board here with Mr. Mcknight as he tries to fight his way back for as he comes down into the kink. 5th gear, full acceleration out. As we said, this back straight is not a straight, so you've got to duck and weave as everyone meanders around. Hard on the brakes in the Canada. It's going to be in trouble here with Matty McMillan in front. 3 wide. Thank you very much, the People's Champion.
Wow.
I don't think I've ever seen 3 cars get out of Canada corner going 3 wide. Of course, Nathan Gore keeping the pressure on him. Matty McMillan, the WK&P car. Jamie getting a nice exit, nice slipstream, pulls out of the slipstream. You can see in front Tyrone Anderson and Shane Roffey doing the same thing. Still no change up front, still bunched up. Jamie through again on another one. Definitely got the bit between the mouth. Oh, Jamie Mcknight. And on the full charge. Might just jump on board for a second. Let's have a watch here as he comes up alongside Tyrone Anderson. And next target acquired, Shane Roffey.
Yeah, these guys are definitely trying to do their best to shape up for this.
I just got the message, Ben. Yeah, a little bit of technical difficulties. And we've got it sorted. And Mr. Mcknight fighting his way through. We'll stay on board for the rest of this lap, I think. This is quite interesting watching, see him really working the carousel. Listen to the throttle being balanced. On the curb. Look at the wheel work there. Great reaction time. And we've got a battle at the front. It's going to get us up out of this. All boys making the move on Whiting, getting back into second. So we've just jumped from one of championship leader to the other championship leader. And a big shout out to Cam Edwards, Sim Racing. Big shout out to Mark Dial as well on the chat. And it looks like we've got another stopped car on track.
Oh dear, this could make it really interesting. Could we have a 4th safety car tonight?
And it's in a precarious position. We might just quickly have a look, see what's going on. It's Timmy Nichols. Timmy Nichols is in the wall. Not sure how Timmy's done that. Reversing back on the track. It looks like the car's still going, or is it? Yes. Not sure what happened to Tim. I'll just see if I can find out. We'll go to the Dirty Pig replay. Oh, Timmy, just get caught wide. Oh, no.
Oh, dear.
We've got an innocent victim in the middle of that. And Scotty McHugh's got a drive-through penalty as well, so I'm not sure whether that's the same incident.
Drive-through penalty, car 77 for contact with 023
And
on 20.
while I've been doing that, we've had a change in the lead. Blake Warboys.
Worked his way back up to the front again.
But this leading pack, have a look who's lashed on the back of it. In 6th.
Inside next corner, Jamie.
He's
Harrison
certainly
Dengate.
worked his way up. Young H. I did call it earlier, he was just lurching around the back there. If he keeps this up, he could really throw himself in the mix tonight, Young H. So hopefully he can keep those eyes forward and keep the car nice and clean, and we'll see what the young fella can do.
Absolutely, he's having a cracker. But he's also under a lot of pressure from Craig Roffey behind him. And Michael Dumbrell's not too far behind him, that pack as well. So these safety cars have really kept the field bunched up together tonight.
Yeah, most definitely. It's whilst some drivers have been the victim of it, we're 21 laps into this 39 lap race and everyone's still so close, and there's not many lap cars at all that are affecting the mix-up either. So everyone's racing for position, and everyone has to race as hard as possible to get those critical championship points. So it's winding up to be a very good night of racing.
It is. Jamie Mcknight moves himself back up into 18th. And we've got another car that I think, no, they're going, car 28. It sounds like Troy Sipple was involved in something, or a minor incident. He went off the track, but he's come back on. We've gone into pit lane. Have a look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, all in front of him. 22 laps down, everything to play for. Can see them all.
Wow.
The other bit, Nick.
A little bit biased, but I do love this camera view.
It's certainly not a bad one. I'll give you that.
Great look at the Banter Alliance PRA car in front of us.
Can you check out the last corner on this lap?
I'll just pause race control for a minute. Hard under brakes, all the way down to second gear. Got to get this apex right. Paul Young's gone wide. Dan Gates through.
Oh, and as easy as that, Young H, thank you very much. Very unfortunate from Paul Young there.
Very unfortunate. It's cost him a little bit, but will he pick up the slipstream here and get himself back on the train, and will H get up to the battle with the two Fisher cars?
You'd almost imagine that Young H and Paul Young should almost be working together to try and get their way through that front pack. So it'll be interesting to see what these two boys do.
Great flowing circuit. Turn 1, third gear. Got to make sure on the ripple strip on the apex. Get it out wide. Come down the hill here. Drop it back down. Some blokes will change back to second. Some try and roll through in third. Very touchy. You really want to get on the accelerator quick, but you got to wait there. Down the long straight under the cheese bridge. So we come down into turn 4. Downhill braking. About 300 board on the brakes hard. We've got a car spun off in front there. Another one very hard braking slow. Car wants to step out. Come up the hill here. You've got to get your braking right because of that crest upsets the braking. And then a beautiful right hand turn, fourth gear, nicely flows. Roll it through right out to the apex. And then again here at about 200, brake down hard in the second gear, hold the apex. Harrison bugs it a little bit in front. And then we come into the carousel, third gear. You just got to ride the accelerator. Don't go too much, you step out too wide. Don't go too little, the guy behind you will eat you up. So it's a real battle. And then we come into the king. Change down a gear, brake, get the apex right, ride it right out wide. Back on the accelerator. Full juice all the way down to Canada Corner here. Get down to Canada Corner, brake hard on the kink there. Get the car straight, pull it up, second, third gear on the apex. Got a little bit of room to go wide here, use it. Up the hill, into fourth, back to third, roll through the apex. Get on the gas early here. Then brake down hard at the tarmac change, into third, and then get on the gas quick as you can without losing the back as we come up the hill to complete a lap of Road America.
Before you know it, 6 kilometres of racetrack, 2 minutes of real life time is gone just like that.
And you got to do it all again for another 15 laps.
Yeah, so based on those earlier Matt Damon calculations, I would almost be expecting to see people come in from any time between the end of next lap and maybe about 5 laps to go for the pit window for the splash and dash, or this final stop to see who can make it home on that magical podium so they can come and have a chat to us.
That's pretty much it. Everyone wants to come and talk to us. So, just a bit of a recap. War Boys leading by 0.4 seconds from Carmichael, another 0.4 seconds back to Whiting, Dengate 1.2 back. Paul Young just hanging on 0.7 behind again, and then Matt Dench is a further 2 seconds back. Might drop back here. Matt Dench is under a bit of pressure from Craig Roffey behind, so Craig having a good drive tonight. With Michael Dumbrell, the first of the Hypersonic boys, and Michael doing quite well as well. Shane Roffey's just had an incident, not Craig, but Shane. Not sure what's going on there. It looks like he's back rolling again. And we'll work our way back through. The next battle pack we've got's Troy Maguire, who was up with the front leaders earlier on in the night, so he's slowly fighting his way back up into 11th, with Ash Barella in 10th. So Ash up 2 spots, doing really well. So these boys try and run down Nicholas Loveridge. And we'll quickly keep working our way back through. Frank Hodak, he's sitting back behind them again in the renowned Sim racing car. And further back behind him is Michael Stewart, the next of our Hypersonics. And behind him in 15th, who was back in 30th after blowing his engine earlier in the night, is Jamie Mcknight.
That is most certainly a very, very solid effort, that is, from our People's Champion.
It definitely is. And then our hard charger at the moment, in the True Blue True Vets livery, celebrating the 100th race of Vets next week, is Darren Crosby up 17th. And behind Darren, keeping him honest, is Blair Van Ree in the Commodore, not the Mustang. And some very tight racing here. Some great wheel-to-wheel action. We'll stay here for a second and see if Blair gets the move done. Nice move by Blair. And we might just jump a bit further down. Nathan Gore still running. Looks like he's had a bit of a bang. Todd Martin's had an incident. I'm not sure what that is. We'll have a look. We'll jump on Todd Martin behind the trees. That's a great look. So Todd Martin with the new NAB livery as well tonight. I did show it earlier but forgot to mention it while you were talking about something else. Not sure, but it looks like he's got himself going again. And we might just have a quick look further down the back. Scotty McCune still running tonight. Scotty's been in the wars a little bit. Shane Roffey's been in the wars a little bit as well. In the middle, I think it's one of the middle split racing cars. Paul Hayes, Matty McMillan's still going. He's up 3 spots. 28th. Troy Sipple, Quantum Tint Solutions Scorpion Esports car, still running quite well. And that's a bit of a look through the field how everyone's going. So our hard charger at the moment is Darren Crosby up 16 spots. Our next nearest guy is Tyrone Anderson. So big shout out to Tyrone from NT Auto Repairs. Entry as well. Tyrone's up 9 spots. So it'll be interesting to see who takes the hard charger.
Yeah, considering we've only been racing for an hour, there's been plenty of action go on, hasn't there, Johnny?
Yeah, it has.
And it's nice and interesting, but yeah, there's not many, because of how big and long this track is, not many lap cars down, which is good for everyone. It's great to see as many people as possible on that lead lap. But yeah, it hasn't played effect on the lead pack like it normally does, like we've seen in the last couple of weeks, so it's interesting.
Well, we've got another stopped car. Troy Sipple's off again. We might just have a quick look, see if he's still rolling. I think it's Troy Sipple. No, it's Paul Hayes. Right, Paul Hayes is having a little excursion into the sand there.
Playing in the sand pit.
And got himself going again, so not sure what happened there. Just jump back up the front. So we've still got this 3-way battle between War Boys, Carmichael and Whiting. We've had this for most of the race. And looks like Nathan Gore has had a crash as well. So there's a little bit going on around us at the moment. Troy Maguire had an off track. So we might have a quick look at that. So Troy was running up in the top 10. So same thing again, a little bit wide. And And that's allowed Ashbarella past and Loveridge past. So still a fair bit going on. Harrison Dengate starting to close in on the back of Michael Whiting. He's now in under a second.
We can't be far away from that toe to really bring him into a young age.
We might just jump on and get the nose footage. So it still looks like he's a little bit back. A little bit off track there. Car does go faster on the black stuff.
It's coming from a lot of experience that I've had of dropping a wheel here, there and everywhere. I definitely agree with that comment.
These boys, these three cars up front, you know, literally been a second between them all night. It's been some impressive racing.
Oh yeah, most definitely. It's still, I can't pick who's going to get up in the end, so I reckon these three might be the podium for the night. I might go as far as saying that, but like we've seen in previous weeks as well, anything is possible. The guys down in 4th, 5th and 6th could come through and be our new podium getters, so who knows?
I'm not going to rule out Harrison on the podium.
No, I reckon he'll give it a good old crack, he will, young H.
He is slowly closing. It's now 0.8 of a second, so he is taking 0.1 of a second out of these guys each lap, if not more. And you know, when you've got a carrot in front, you put your head down and work a little bit harder.
Here's a question for you, Johnny. If you're in Harrison's shoes, do you get onto the back of that pack and then do you pit to undercut them, or do you work hard and follow them and just follow the leader and pit when they pit? Roll the dice, or do you try and back yourself in with your performance?
Well, you're doing a lot of work to get up to the back of these guys. So you got to say to yourself, maybe my tyres aren't the greatest, but sitting behind them, I'm also fuel saving because I'm in the draft. But I'd probably say with 12 laps to go, I'd probably think about trying an undercut. It's an easy pit entry, but it's a long pit entry.
It'll be interesting to see what the young fella does. So, actually, for that matter, for either of them, like if the Fishy boys are going to work together and try and do the similar sort of thing to Blake, or if Blake and H are on a very similar wavelength of what they're doing, or just who knows.
If you're following along at home, jump in the comments and let us know what your thoughts are. Would you undercut, or would you keep going, or you just join the train? Still got a few cars, a few incidents going on around. Just quickly jumping back on. My list here. We've got a few guys going off the track coming back on. No, they're all go. All good. These boys, look at this. Harrison's now 0.6, so I did say it was about 0.1 a lap onto the back of this pack.
He's shaping himself up to make himself a contender right at the point when it matters.
And the other one of interest for those playing along at home, Harrison Dengate's through. Will he hold on though? Too wide.
Giving it a crack.
Let's see if they go too wide through the carousel.
H just got him.
Just got him.
There we have it. Young Harrison up into 3rd place.
Now, problem is they've both dropped back a little bit from the lead too. So he's now 1.4 back from Carmichael. So has he got the pace to catch Carmichael? And what do the Fishy boys do now? Do you say to yourself, let's put Michael Whiting in for an undercut and allow Carmichael to coast wallboards? These are all questions we should be asking Matt Damon.
Yeah, he has been quiet for a little while there. I wonder what he's up to in that pit lane. I wonder what numbers he's calculating. Oh, on a side note, Blake and Harrison have just started into the pits.
And Mike Dumbrell, who was in that lead group, in that top 10, has had an incident as well. So let's have a quick look what happened to Michael. Oh, coming into Canada, too wide. Oh, that's not good. Not much room given either, so that'll be an interesting one for race control to have a look at.
Yeah.
It's probably time they looked at something. It's probably been a little bit quiet, the boys.
Having too much fun in their costumes.
Absolutely. And we have a new race leader again with War Boys in the pitting. We've got Rob Carmichael in first. Michael Whiting, 1.3 behind. Paul Young hasn't pitted either. He's kept going. Up 7 spots. In third. Troy Maguire is back up into 4th. So Troy, of course, has had 2 pit stops already. So I'm not 100% certain when that second stop was. And have a look who's in 5th now.
Mr. Smart, is it? No.
No,
Yeah.
Mr. Mcknight.
No. Ah,
Sitting in 5th
well,
spot.
he snuck on through on my timing system. He did.
Definitely snuck in.
Thanks, Ryan.
It just goes to show you can't rule anyone out in these longer races.
That's right. No, and these lead boys as well, coming up the lap traffic. Paul Hayes just in front of Rob Carmichael. So will lap traffic become a thing here? No, does Carmichael and Whiting go a little bit longer? Do they go and push out another lap, or do they respond to the WK&P cars and come and pit at the end of this lap?
If they pit this lap, then they'll be on very similar tyres and very similar fuel loads to go into it. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens. Or if they push for 3 or 4 more laps, do they back themselves on the newer tyre to make up that time? What do they do? And they're both in.
They're both
That
in.
answers that really quickly.
So let's have a look where War Boys is. War Boys is out in some clear air, going through the kink. Dan Gates a further 3 seconds behind him. So they've definitely had clear air looking at the timing screen here. Jamie Mcknight also pitting for the punters at home. So let's have a quick look, see where Carmichael is. They haven't got to the jacks yet. And they've hit the jacks now. And just to correct myself there, Jamie didn't pit. So Paul Young's gone another lap. And Jamie Mcknight is in second spot now. And he's gone another lap as well. We're just going to jump
We've
back.
got a new race leader and Paul Young as well. So another race leader again.
So the PRA team having a car out front. I'm sure Roy Clark will be very happy to see a number 1 sitting next to the PRA car. And we're just going to jump back out, and Rob Carmichael has jumped War Boys in the pits. Trying to break the toe there. This is rather interesting. We're trying to warm the
That being
tyres
said,
up as
though,
well.
Blake's on brand new fresh tyres, up to temperature and nice and warm. And Rob's got to try and fend him off on those cold tyres. So I wonder if he can do it. And I wonder what this last phase of the race is going to bring, these last 9 laps.
It's going to be very interesting. And you know what I'm going to do, Nath? I reckon if we press the button.
Ooh, I reckon.
We
Let's
press
do
the
it.
button. I reckon we're in for a big finish.
Most definitely. I can even hear in the background that Team America agrees with us, so they're on board with a big finish as well. So it's anyone's game tonight.
Anyone's game. So at the moment we've still got Paul Young out in front with Jamie Mcknight in second. So we might jump back out there. So let's see if Paul Young dives into the pits. So Young is in. And the next man on track in the Too Easy Finance Valvoline Harrop United Sim Sports car is Mr. Jamie Mcknight, the self-proclaimed People's Champion. And he's going again. So remember, Jamie's on a slightly different sequence to everybody else after he blew his engine early in the race. But dare I say it, Nate? We have another leader.
Yes, again, that's we should have really been keeping tally of this, because it's been a very popular seat tonight, that number 1 position.
There has
So,
been. And
although, to be fair, to have Jamie up the front, it's a very solid effort, that is.
it is. Let's jump back to this battle here, but dare I say it, Nath? We've had more leaders and we've had race control jokes.
Whoa, that's whew. Yeah, we're gonna have to up our game. We are here. That's yeah, we've had a number of leaders tonight, and we've been so caught up in the action and so caught up in how these guys have all been going that, yeah, we haven't really been able to get many jokes coming. If I just hold on, just bear with me. I think I hear something from Matt Damon in the pits. I'll cross over to him right now. I'll see what he's got on the radio. Yeah, man, it's been really busy down here, eh? Like, whoa. Back to you guys, I'm out of words. Thanks, Matt. You're a top bloke. That's well, yeah, I knew you'd be having a busy night down there. So keep the water up. That's got to be really important to keep the fluids up at this point in time. So good stuff, mate.
Especially with 8 laps to go. Let's jump back over our race leader, Mr. Jamie Mcknight. A full 18 seconds up the road. Pit stops have been quite lengthy, so I don't think he's going to have enough time to come out in P1, but it'll be interesting to see where I think he might come out somewhere around P6, P7. So really it's a great comeback drive. He was down in 30th at one stage after he blew his engine. And Mr. Mcknight goes again. As I said, he's had 2 pit stops, so not 100% certain on the numbers, but of those 2 stops. But this will be very interesting to see how much he's got to put in for a splash and dash at the end.
Yeah, well, dare I say it, has he managed to save enough fuel to make it the whole way home? He's got 20 seconds up his belt to the guys behind, so when you think about it from a fuel saving point of view, he could, I wonder if the thought's crossing his mind.
And he's the fuel saving king. Let's just jump back down here and have a look as we go back down to 5th, Harrison Dengate, who's actually catching Michael Whiting, or was catching Michael Whiting in the lap before. But have a look who's come in behind Harrison now. Christian Smart.
Christian Smart, yes, he's another man that we haven't spoken about too much tonight, and he's certainly brought his way back into it. So he's proven that pole position. He has brought some race pace along as well. He's just had to work very, very hard for it. So it's good to see him getting back into the mix of things.
Well, Christian having a look on Harrison here.
A little bit of a scare tactic, trying to see if the young H will blink.
Definitely got a lot more pace by the looks. Some great close driving by these guys. I'm really impressed how these front boys have been nose to tail all night.
Yeah, most definitely.
Except for poor old Christian, who I think had a slight little tap on Troy Maguire earlier in the evening. So just as we start coming to these closing laps, our hard charger now is Reece Bolithio. He's up 15 spots. So have a quick look at Reece. So Reece in the Stone Cold Racing outfit, having a good evening at the moment. So he's had
certainly gained a number of spots.
Thanks, mate.
Yep, driving quite well. Christian's still all over the back of Harrison, so he might just jump back to that spot at the moment. And Blake is all over the back of Rob Carmichael within a second of him. And Jamie Mcknight, we'll just checking on where he is. He's gone again, so he hasn't pitted this lap. So it'll be interesting to see with the time you've said whether he's got enough to feel safe.
He has lost about 2.5 seconds though to Rob Carmichael in second place, so surely that's not because of purely pace. I wonder if that is definitely a tactical kind of move.
So Christian Smart stepping out of the slipstream into turn 1 here. Some great driving side by side. And there we go. Reece Bolithio just got a drive-through penalty for exceeding 20 incident points. So for those those following along at home, if you exceed 20 incident points, so you get incident points for driving off the track or having a collision with another car or losing control. And there's a set limit. So if you get too many of those, you get a drive-through penalty. Harrison very twitchy under brakes there. Still too wide. Harrison a little bit too wide, which has now let Christian through.
That's not what we meant by too wide, H.
No. And let's have a quick look. We might jump up and have a look at the War Boys Carmichael battle.
Thanks, Matthew.
So Blake keeping in touch with Rob still. So we don't really know 100% whether this is our race lead battle or if Jamie needs to pit again. If Jamie doesn't need to pit, he's outfoxed all these blokes really well. And Carmichael off.
Yeah, it's a big moment from Carmichael there.
Does he lose speed? No. Not enough to allow Blake to put a pass on coming into Canada.
But what it will do, though, it will definitely bring up Blake's hopes and spirits that he might be able to get past him, saying stuff like that. So he knows if he keeps applying the pressure,
Mcknight in pit
might he
lane.
be able to get... Oh, Jamie's coming, has he?
Yeah.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah. Blake's just got to keep this pressure on here, as you're saying.
Yeah, so they Blake keeps that pressure on. He's certainly shown that Blake's certainly got the racecraft to keep going, but to be fair, Rob has certainly held his own on a number of occasions with trying to kind of battle with this front group, so still could be either of them. There's certainly no favourite leading into this. They're both going to give it a red hot go, they are.
So Carmichael leading by 0.3 seconds, Whiting a further 5 seconds back from War Boys, and Christian Smart all over the back of Whiting. So will Christian even get himself on the podium tonight?
We've had a question from Mark Dial. How many penalty points has Race Control got so far? I think, Mark, probably the better question is how many incident points have Johnny and I got as commentators? That's the interesting number. And unfortunately I don't have an answer for both, so that's I'm really unsure on how to find that out either. I don't think we want to know the number there.
And so we have 5 laps to go. War Boys all over the back of Carmichael. We might just jump back. Another one with the 20 instant points, so that's starting to come out of play. Might just quick jump back to the edge of the top 10. Have a quick look at Ash Barella. So Ash chasing down Michael Dumbrell from Hypersonic. And Jamie Mcknight has come out in 11th. So our joint championship leader is now sitting in 11th. And the other joint championship leader, Blake Warboys, is in 2nd. So Jamie definitely done very well in damage limitation tonight after blowing his engine.
Very good comeback, that is.
And he's done it again.
Oh no.
He's hung on to it though. Why does Ash always go off when we go on him?
I'm sure he's cursing over the race control, asking if we were on there or not. And in answer to your question, Ash, yes, we did see that.
We saw that. So Jamie Mcknight moves into the top 10. We might just jump back up to the lead pack here. So War Boys still right behind Carmichael, very close, as close as they've been for a while. Only 0.18 separating them. And someone's asked, Tyrone Anderson's asked for a tow, but he's saying he's out of the way. I'm not sure where he's sitting. I can't see on my telemetry.
Yeah, wait for the leader to pass you on track and then you can tow.
About to find out. War Boys, very good defensive driving by Carmichael.
They're not too far away. Yeah, you're clear, mate.
Blake's having a bit of a look. Carmichael's certainly doing everything he can to keep Blake behind, so which is no easy feat. So both these boys trying to shape up. We don't have to worry about keeping those tyres alive anymore. We don't have to worry about what the fuel window's doing. It's just purely who can get to that finish line first.
Rob getting a little bit worried about the traffic ahead, I think, flashing his lights there. So we've got lap traffic coming into the game as well with Matty McMillan, about to be lapped by the leaders.
He's holding well
nicely,
out of the
nicely
way.
Getting out of the way.
Very good sport there by Matty. Well done, mate.
Looking a bit second hand as well.
Thanks, mate. Broken, mate.
Certainly a engine cooling mod that Matty has on there, but Blake's certainly trying to have another look-see again, but tucks in behind on Rob. So I reckon Rob's permanently got one eye in the mirror at the moment.
Oh, this group is 4.9 seconds ahead of third and fourth, which is another ding-dong battle. We might quickly jump back there and come back to this. So you got Christian and Michael Whiting going toe-to-toe. Car 27 was off the track there. I think the boys got past him. We jump back up the front here. Blake in the toe. Blake pulling out of the toe as he got the legs to get past. As we come in, a little bit of a flicker. And now is the answer to my question.
It's almost like watching a NASCAR race and seeing who's trying to shape up to get the pass done when.
It definitely is.
Like you said, though, they do have a little bit of room, though, these two boys, to keep battling and giving a red-hot go with how far there is behind as Blake pulls out, trying to do it the hard way, going around the outside. Rob going very defensive there. Blake shaping up for the crisscross, though. Does he get the run on him? He's having a look. He's having a good think about it. But no, ducks back into the race line.
He definitely does.
Even though they got some room, if they keep battling like this, it might just allow Michael, Christian and Harrison to jump back in. So
it's really been a ding-dong battle. Like, these guys have just been going like this for 36 of the 39 laps so far, which has really been impressive. They just keep turning it on every week.
yeah,
Well, almost speechless again.
yeah. When we've definitely given the voice boxers a good workout tonight, but that's because these guys have provided the action. Like, there's just the whole entire field has had something going on at some point in time, and to finish once again at having our two leaders and our lead group, to include the boys behind them, all so close to one another, it's just fantastic.
So we've still got Christian still all over the back of Michael Whiting. Harrison's now starting to catch back up to this pack as well for fifth. Jamie Mcknight is damage limitation mode. He's doing really well. He's less than a second behind Troy Maguire now. So it's been a great drive by Jamie. Can't give him the hard charger though, because he started up in seventh.
He was almost trying to battle Blake with after Blake's a few incidents last week and how he come back and passed everyone. It's like the two boys are trying to compete. How many guys can you pass within a night?
Paul Hayes has just had an off there into turn 2 in front of these boys. So hard charger at the moment. So on this battle here, but the hard charger at the moment up 17 spots in 17 is Darren Crosby. And the next hard charger after that would be Craig Roffey, up 8 spots. So Darren's definitely having a blinder tonight.
Yeah, he's certainly turned it up, hasn't he? So being so far back and gaining that many spots, a very good effort.
We've got another slow car off in front of the boys here, so I'm not sure what's going on. Another one off in the grass, coming back on the circuit there. You can see from the tyre marks. So we basically have 2.5 laps left. What can Wake War boys do here?
Thanks, Todd.
Todd Martin nicely out of the way. Very well done there. It's what we like to see.
So War boys tucked up behind the rear wing of Carmichael, coming down into Canada corner.
Yeah, young H has managed to get past Michael Whiting as well, and so is Christian Smart. So Michael's dropped back into 5th place. He has there. Not sure what's happened there, but a bit of a jumble up in that second pack.
Just wondering whether lap traffic might have been involved. Harrison, car looking second hand again, showing no respect for the guy that does delivery.
He's certainly keeping the vinyl wrappers in a job. He is young H.
Definitely, and you can see we've got Michael Whiting all over the back of Harrison now. So Michael Whiting has sort of dropped out of there. So I'm wondering whether that's got something to do with the Paul Hayes unsafe re-entry. Not sure. We might find out later.
You did mention that a few cars went on and off the track, so highly likely, I reckon, that something may have eventuated from all that.
It's the only way I can sort of explain how Michael's gone behind Christian and Harrison.
Thanks, Andrew.
And Michael, of course, all over the back here. And
He's certainly making H journeys keeps here.
definitely is. See how H goes. We've got to keep a close eye on our front boys. They're still dealing with traffic as well, and there's still only 4 of a second. Oh, side by side. I think Michael might have H here. H still sticking the nose in.
Holding it there. That's a
little
very
bit
good
twitchy
effort.
there.
Oh, and Michael's finally got him.
Through. Might
That
just
was a
jump back,
very good effort.
back to the front battle now. So our championship leader, Blake Warboys, chasing down Rob Carmichael, 0.4 seconds behind. And a further 5.8 back to Christian Smart. And then the rest of the pack sort of starts to spread out a little bit for a change. So this is where our real battle is at the moment. Is for 1 and 2 and for 4 and 5. So as we come down into Canada Corner, Rob Carmichael looking very stable, very poised.
He seems to have gathered it all back together, hasn't he? But Blake is still close enough, especially after the tow. As we come to the final corner for the second last time. Still anyone's game.
Does Blake get the tow here and manage to get inside? Does Rob block to the inside and Blake trying to hang on?
There we go, as they get the white flag last time by.
So Rob
Blake
Carmichael
trying to-
defends very heavily on the inside.
Yeah,
Blake-
as you would do.
Can Blake get the over and under? Not enough pace. Has a bit of a think about it. Comes back down. As we now head down the back straight for the last time. This is one of the last remaining passing opportunities coming up under brakes down here into turn 4. Blake's all over the back here. Rob's defending the inside. Blake's going to try and go the long way round.
We've
Gonna
seen it
go
though.
too
He
wide.
can go too wide. Oh,
Not-
doesn't quite get a good run though.
Blake doesn't get a good drive out of the turn.
Thanks, Todd.
And as we now come back down, I think the next real main passing opportunity that we're going to have will probably be going into Canada Corner maybe. Blake can get a good slipstream.
Yeah, that'll probably be one of his last opportunities. You don't see too many more passes happen anywhere else on the track, so he's going to get it done. He's got to get it done soon.
And as we come through the kink, pick up the slipstream. But do have some lap traffic in front here as well.
This could make it very interesting.
Troy Sipple and Ryan Van Ree in front of these guys. Ryan Van Ree rolling very slowly, missing a boot. Boys are past.
Ooh. They come up last corner, lap traffic. Holding it
Boys
there,
done
who's
well.
going to get the run into the final corner? Oh, Blake just touches the dirt. That's not what you want.
No. And to win round 8 of the East Coast V8 Series at Road America, our race winner is Rob Carmichael. 0.2 seconds behind Blake Warboys. In third, Christian Smart. Michael Whiting's going to bring home 4th. Harrison Dengate, 0.1 second behind in 5th. Matt
So
Dench in
close.
6th. Craig Roffey in 7th. Great drive by Craig there, up 8 spots. And Jamie Mcknight fights his way back to 8th after being as far down as 30th after blowing his engine earlier in the race. And then, of course, Rob tries to light them up, as you do when you win the race. And after Jamie McKnight, Michael Dumbrell from Hypersonic in 9th. Ash Borella brings up 10th. I think Ash will be very happy with that. It's a good result.
Yeah, he's finally cracked the top 10, Ash, which
Yeah.
and he didn't crash after the start-finish line when we were on him, so that's a fantastic result as well.
Well, he gave us a scare though. Don't forget that through the kink. And Nicholas Loveridge in 11th, Michael Stewart 12th, Andrew Archer 13th, Frank Hodak up 7 spots in 14th, Nathan Gore in 15th, Scotty McCune 16th, Darren Crosby, our hard charger, up 17 spots. Troy Maguire in the wars early on in the evening, so he's finished up 18th. Blair Van Ree 19th, Paul Young 20th, Shane Roffey 21, Nathan Cook, Pecky started rear of grid, finished 23rd, so he's come up a fair way, up 7 spots. Troy Sipple 24th, Brian Van Ree 25th, Paul Hayes 26th, Matty McMillan 27, Shane Ewans 28.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much for tonight. That was
So, rounding off Shane Ewans, Andrew Hoffman, Reece Bolithio, Tyrone Anderson, Toddy Martin, Dylan Gray, Timmy Nichols, Ty Burns, and last on my list is our safety car driver who did 4 laps, Richie Barella.
So it's a very consistent, solid 4 laps he did there. So it was a very good effort there from Richie.
Yep. These boys just keep coming again each week. Like, that was a cracker of a race. Rob's got to be real happy with himself. Blake
Oh yeah.
Blake sort of fell off the pace a little bit and managed to fight his way back. And then, of course, we start looking at Michael Whiting, getting that drive-through and then coming back. Sorry, Christian Smart getting the drive-through and getting back onto the podium.
Yeah, that's a very good efforts from a number of people tonight. Like, the list just keeps going on and on, doesn't it, Johnny?
It just does. Like, it's just the standard of driving is reasonably good, or was very good, particularly at the front. Like, those guys were just going 2 wide, and a few spots tonight we were seeing everybody 3 wide, and it was just quite good to watch. We might start by bringing up our race winner, Rob Carmichael. Rob, winner chicken dinner.
Good evening, Rob, and congratulations.
Let me just leave this server. Sorry, I've got background noise. Finally got the old camel off the back. Got it done. So, had mega battle with Blake all race, and halfway through that second sit there, I thought I might be able to jump him in the second stop, and so what I wanted to do is I wanted to save a bit of fuel in that second run. So that's why I let him go and just stuck with him because no one was really pulling away because you can get quite a good draft at Road America. So just stuck in his draft and saved a bit of fuel. And I think I came out like half a second in front of him and got the car as wide as we could and got the win. So I'm stoked. That was mint.
It was a fascinating race to call. It was really, really close. I'm really amazed at how week after week these boys can go 2, even 3 cars wide through spots where, I wouldn't even think about it.
It is crazy, but obviously you got to have trust in the other guy. And I think Blake and I were side by side a few times down at turn 1, 2, 3 at the end of the long straight. You just got to have faith in each other that you're not going to run each other off the road because what's the fun in that when one gets a drive through and the other wins by 10 seconds? So, I got a lot of credit for Blake. He's obviously the guy to chase down for the series, and I'm stoked. I came so close so many times. I was on for a third at Snetterton, where I binned it. I think I've had a few thirds. I got a third at Red Bull, so to get the win, I'm speechless. Really, that was hard. I worked hard.
You should be proud of yourself.
Very, very good effort there. You can tell how happy you are in your voice, mate. So congratulations.
Yeah, cheers, boys.
Anyone you want to give a big shout out to?
Of course, the Fishy boys, Mike and Troy were in there tonight. Troy did a lot of work with the setup this week. We didn't have a very good one for Phillip Island, so we struggled a bit there. But Troy did a magnificent job with the setup. And Mike, we were at the front together. Unfortunately, Troy got run off the road, but Mike and I worked pretty well together. We saved fuel. We did all this, did that. And of course, the Fishy Motorsport boys, Sideways Photography, Black Wolf Graphics, Real Axe Marine Game Fishing, DC Shades, and Precision Sim Training. Thanks for the support. They're our sponsors. So couldn't be here without them. So yeah, and of course you guys and for the broadcast and Ben and Ash for running the series. I look forward to it on a Monday and Tuesday night doing the prequel and it's the only real series I'm taking full on serious at the moment. So I look forward to it and I hope it continues because it's a mega series.
Good to hear, mate. It's really good to hear. We might bring up Blake and have a chat to him.
Sounds good.
Mr. Blake, congratulations on second.
Thanks, lads. How are yous?
Good, mate. We're on the edge of the seat again all night. It was a epic race. I think at one stage we counted more lead changes than we had race control jacks.
Yeah, no, the boys really turned it on tonight. Everyone had great pace. It's such a hard track because you're not really going for that overall lap time. You're going to try to conserve the tyres, so made for, I reckon, fairly close setups and just some great racing.
Oh, it is. The series has had 7 different winners in 8 races, so that just really highlights the standard that we're dealing with, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%. And each week, I reckon the battle packs are getting tighter and tighter. You can see in qualifying the times are getting closer and closer, so everyone's really picking up their game, and yeah, it's becoming an amazing series to be a part of.
Oh,
Yeah.
At one stage there, the front battle pack was a solid 5. I think Harrison had latched onto the back of his boys as well, and it was just, we just didn't know where to look.
Yeah, I was egging young Harry on there. I was a bit overwhelmed with all those fishy cars around me and a bit of a fishy sandwich.
Yeah, well, we did mention that you were the chip in the fish there, so.
Yeah, that's the better one. That's a better one.
But I think Rob, I think he, and I'm sure you'll agree with it here, he seemed to have hit the nail on the head with the amount of trust that you guys have in one another to be competing and to be so close, like you've both mentioned. But to have the trust in one another that you're not going to take each other out, and that if you give each other the minimum amount of room, but also enough room to keep racing, that you boys can keep doing this week in, week out. And it is fantastic to watch. Like the amount of times that Johnny and I keep talking and going like, wow, how did they do that? And
Yeah.
I might certainly look at it and go, wow, I need 2 to 3 car widths on my own on a test drive, and you boys are doing it side by side. So
Yeah, the level of respect in this series is great. The driving standards is above and beyond what I've raced in, I believe. So it's a big congratulations to everyone that's doing this series, and anyone that's wanting to join in, by all means, come and join the fun.
Anyone you want to give a big shout out to, Blakey boy?
Wodonga Karts and Parts, LGK, Racing Karts Australia, Kinetic Industries, Kinetic Motorsport, Dirty Big Clothing, and WK&P Sim Sports, and WK&P Race Engines.
No worries. We might bring up our 3rd place person, Christian Smart. Christian, great drive, mate. You had a drive-through penalty and then came 3rd with 0 incident points.
Yeah, I certainly had the hammer down on that last pretty much 2 stints after the drive-through. My apologies there to Troy for that, but I honestly at the time didn't think I hit him. I had a poor start, just lit the tyres, and I think I went from 1st to 5th in 2 seconds.
Yeah, it was an interesting start, and we were sort of slightly on board with the lead pack when you tapped Troy, and from what I saw, it didn't really look like a very hard bump. It looked very, very soft, whatever it was.
Yeah, well, it came up with 0, and from where I was driving, the gap from what I thought I had was at least half a metre between the cars. Obviously, with some sort of lag between us, so it just come up as a contact. I've yet to go back and have a look, but I could swear black and blue that there was no contact there.
Yeah, we're just talking with Blake and Rob, just the level of driving and the close quarters you boys all drive at. It's just phenomenal. You just keep doing it week after week. Just make it almost impossible for us to call who's going to win.
Yeah, well, hopefully one day I do.
Well, we've had 7 different winners in 8 races, so if that trend continues for the rest of the series, I'm certain we're probably going to see your name with a P1 next to it, Christian.
Yeah, I hope so. Thanks, mate. Yeah.
Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, sure. I'd like to thank all the guys at Synergy Sim Racing and United Sim Sports at there. They all help out. Jamie also helps me a lot and pushes me because we're enduro partners. And if I can thank Laurie, who's got Torrent Safety, helps me out a lot. We've got Positive Mechanical, JK Science, and we've got a few other guys there, Grumpy Graphics, and Luke. We've got Ben Anthony, Mark Dial, and Ash, and Blake, Blair. You guys, John, yourself, you all put in so much to make this series happen, and the broadcast and all the people that watch it. It's great and good fun to good series to be in.
Glad to hear you're enjoying it. We try and make the broadcast as entertaining as possible.
We certainly
you
give it a
do
red hot
indeed.
go.
Yeah,
You certainly do, yeah.
it's,
And yourself there, Nate.
That's all good. I'm just along for the ride with Johnny.
Yeah. And if I can also thank Rob and Blake, congratulations to you guys. And we had some good battles there with Michael and Harrison as well, Matty Dench, and and all the other guys that were sort of back markers that certainly didn't push their weight around. They've had good, clean racing, and it certainly made it fun.
that's good.
Nice.
So we'll bring in our hard charger, Darren Crosby. Darren's up 17 spots. The bloke who we probably really should be bringing in as a hard charger is Jamie Mcknight, who was down in 30th at one stage and got back up to 8th, but unfortunately he only progressed one spot negative for the day. So we'll bring in Darren and we'll have a chat. Once I find my mouse, here we go. Darren, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks Nathan and John.
Great livery.
Yeah, that's for the Vets 100th race. I think is it this week or next week?
Next week.
Next week, yeah. So I was just playing around with that a little bit, and then was just testing it out, and then thought I'd jump on with you guys. And you've been having so much fun the last couple of weeks. I've been watching the live stream, so I thought I'll come out and have some fun with you.
Oh, you definitely had some fun out there. We sort of kept flicking to you there for a while because you've sort of got a good start and jumped up really well.
Yeah, at one point there, I had all those Van Rays breeding around me.
Yes, the nephews are definitely getting better.
Yeah, no, it was good. Good race. Enjoyed it.
That's good. Big shout out as well, of course, to the delivery. Big shout out for those following along at home. Don't forget the Vets are on Thursday nights. And then next Thursday night is the series 100th race, which is enduro at Daytona under lights and a bit of a retro round, as you can see from the true blue livery that Darren's running. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to, Darren?
Just my teammates, you guys, put on a great show, and all the guys in this league. Actually, it's ended up being a really good league and a lot of fun. And it's I don't know whether or not it's more fun to race or more fun to watch, but yeah. And shout out to all the vets, and looking forward to the 100th race next week.
That sounds good.
And congratulations to the podium. Great race, boys.
Thank you. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
And I'll just wind up by thanking my co-host, Mr. Brown, and just ask the question, mate. You broke the finger before we started. We're 8 rounds in. Surely the finger's still broken.
That's I think that's the answer everyone wants to hear. It is getting on the mend, and I have had a little bit of a play on the sim, I will admit, but it's to be honest, I'm having an absolute blast doing this so far, and it's certainly not what I expected, I will admit, but I didn't know what to expect being on the other side. So, as all the rest of the boys in the team will say, it's my trap can certainly run and not stop at times, and well, I guess this is a perfect job role for that, isn't it?
It is.
He's definitely not lying. He's definitely not lying.
Anyway, on that note, we will say good night, and we will all see everybody next Tuesday night for round 9, where hopefully we'll have our 8th winner, our 8th different winner out of 9 races.
Fingers crossed. Thanks, Nathan. Thanks, John.
All right. Night all.